Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. Today's project is on gift packaging with the envelope treat boxes. These are new from the July to December 2022 mini catalogue, and you'll find it on page 83. They're down here, and there are 10 boxes in a pack, and they have 20 gold seals, self-adhesive gold seals. It's also food safe. When they're assembled, they measure 2¼ inches by 3½ by 1 inch. In metric, that's 5.7, 8.9 and 2.5 centimeters. There's also an example in the mini catalogue that Stampin' Up has done, and it's here on page 13. They come like this, and the inside is food safe. Now when you assemble them, they look a bit plain, just like that. It's supposed to close like an envelope. So this hooks onto each other like that, and there's sticky tape on there so that it will hold the box closed, and then there's a slot here that you can tuck the top piece into the bottom piece like so. That looked a bit plain, so I wanted to cover it up with designer series paper. The paper I'm using is from the Gingham Cottage suite. It's in the mini catalogue on page 58 to 59. It's called the Gingham Cottage 12 by 12 designer series paper, and as you can see, they're quite bold checks in various sizes. Some are square on, some are diagonal, and they come in all sorts of colours: Flashing Bride, Calypso Coral, Garden Green, Mint Macaron, Pumpkin Pie, Real Red, So Saffron. So it's suitable for any time of year. There are 48 sheets in the pack, 2 each of 12 double-sided designs. Now you can see that from a 6 by 6 inch sheet, this just isn't enough no matter which way you orient it. I tried covering it with just this portion, and it looked a bit odd that these weren't covered. So that's why I decided to cover all 4 sides. From point to point, you can see that this measures more than 6 inches. It's actually 7½ inches across. So it would be quite wasteful to use up a whole sheet of designer series paper. The most economical way of doing it, trace this portion, this bit, out of a 6 by 6 inch piece, and then with the leftover of the other 6 by 6 inch piece, you could then trace just this portion and cover it up. Now you can see that I don't actually have any overlap on the designer series paper round the corners. It's just cut straight across. So that's one piece, and that's 2 pieces of this. When I did my prototype, I didn't realise that this ribbon had retired, so I've substituted it this time with the new satin edged ribbon in gold and vanilla. This is from the mini catalogue as well. There's 10 yards in a spool. That's 9.1 meters, 3/8 inches in width. In metric, that's 1 centimeter. To cut this, you want the pattern on the outside. If you want this pattern on the outside, then you need to place your pattern paper face down, the side you want to show. Okay, and I'm just going to put that on an angle and just trace round this edge here. you see that? So it's there. Cut it on the line. Bring in the guillotine, the mini cutter, and I'm just going to marry that up and cut across like so. Make sure that it's straight. There. So glue this onto here. Okay. Trim it off more accurately once it's been glued. So I'm going to put the adhesive on the box rather than the paper, and where the folds are, I'm just going to do a rectangle to avoid the score lines. And don't forget, you probably need a craft knife as well, because you need to cut that slot for the envelope. It's much too hot. I've had to turn the fan on. I'm absolutely dripping here. Now I can trim round the edges. Now you can follow those lines and reinforce it, so you can establish your creases now that it's glued on. Then you need a craft knife and a self-healing mat, and then follow the cut lines here. And there's your slot established. Okay, now we want to cut these two sides. So remember, you don't need to cut these pieces here, you only want this piece. So fold that in. So that's traced one. Oh, that's that one. Now I've got to do this one. So I'll have that down here. You have to trace it in the opposite direction, otherwise you'll end up with two the same. Alright? So I'm just going to rough cut this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little bit shy of that, so I can then trim it down. So pop glue on here and establish that bit first. So it's buttered right up to the edge there. Okay, fold that in and trim. Then I can pop glue on this bit here. Then you can carry on cutting. So the trick to do on this part is just to cut up to there, and then you bend the cardstock back and cut that off. Okay. Then you do the same for the opposite sides. So I'm cutting where I traced the tab, part of the tab, so I can get an accurate cut across the paper. Now you can establish your crease lines. Now once you've covered it, and you're making lots and lots, but you don't know what it's going to be used for or what occasion, you can, say for instance, if you're making lots of these for a wedding or something, you can still pack them flat, so long as you don't assemble them with the tabs there. You can wait until last minute when you're filling them to assemble them, like these boxes here. So I'm not going to glue mine down, I'm just going to hook them so then I can lay it flat again and tuck them into the slot like so. If you're using ribbon and you want the ribbon to cross over like that, you can put a glue dot on one side to secure it. And you pop a glue dot on the other one, cut the ribbon at an angle, and then you can just add your sticker on there to seal it. So that's how to cover your envelope treat box. You can add a tag if you wish. But I thought it just looked pretty with the seals just like that, and then you can make a card to match to go with it. So pop back next week to see the card I made to match these boxes. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll be back with more inspiration next time. As usual, you'll find all the links to the supplies below this video in the Show More section. If you'd like to read more, then hop over to my blog. The link is also below, and you can also find me on Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram. Thanks for watching. Bye.